Hi. A lot of you will hopefully have already seen that I've put some new Halloween images into the control panel for you to use. But I had a couple of calls this morning asking how exactly you go about doing this. So I thought it'd just be useful. I'll just do a quick video to show you that. And I'll also show you how you can change the themes on your mobile layout as well. So I'm using John's site here because he was one of the guys that phoned me this morning. So I'm going to use his site, and this is actually his live site now. And this here in the corner, just there, is his mobile layout. Okay, so let me show you. What we're going to do is look at the images that are used behind the logo here in the header, the images that show behind your rotating screen here, which is the slider, the ones that are shown in your prices boxes at the bottom here. Now, not all layouts have these. Some of them will have a box up on the right hand side, but you can also change the image that's shown with those as well. So I'll show you that. And we'll also be looking at the image that's used with the contact form. All right, and that's used on every, kind of, if you've got multiple forms, that will just be used automatically. Okay, so let me show you how we do this. You go into the control panel first of all, of course, and the majority of this is done in the editing and stock images page here, which is where I am. And you've got the 5 different categories. Your general one can be quite useful. If you've got any imaging editing software, then what you can do is actually download these to your computer, put on some text or whatever you like to do, maybe, I don't know, even change colors, etc., and then reload them through the editing image management page. So then you can kind of add them into your text. You can use them perhaps as a featured image at the top of the page, etc., etc. There's all kinds of things you can do, whatever you feel like. If you just want to use it as is somewhere in your page, if you go add to library, again, once that's done, go to the image management page and you'll be able to kind of get code to add them into your pages, etc. Okay, but the bits we're going to really talk about today are the background images on here. So you'll see that John's is actually set to a black background, which is indicated by the fact that he's got the larger box showing in black. You can, of course, change those to any color. What we're going to use is the Halloween theme here, this one. You've got a couple of others, and I'll be adding some more of these, etc. But you can change these as and when you want to. You can do them as often as you like. Um, there's, obviously a range of images here. And by the way, these are all licensed images, so we do have the rights to use these. So to view one closer up, if you're not quite sure kind of what they look like, just click on it and it will open up in another window. All right, and there you are. That's the image. Close it down again. To set it for the header, which is what these are all for, and you'll see that they're all a particular size. This is why I can't actually allow you to load these yourself, because if they're not correctly optimized and things like that, you'll find that your site will really slow down. But if you have got particular images you want me to use, then by all means, kind of send them over. If I think that they're suitable, we can use them. So to set this as the header, as you would expect seeing this, you just click on the set header and you'll see it's just loading up there. And what that's actually doing is physically moving or copying that image over to your site and replacing anyone that was there before. All right. So that's now copied over. We're going to do the same with the slider. So that's the image that shows behind your rotating images on the front screen and also on the individual area pages. So to do that, we will just click on Set Slider. Again, that's going to load in and load directly to your site. Okay. Now we come to the prices. So these are the boxes at the bottom of the page here, if you can see that. And I'm just going to put them in the order here. So the numbers underneath obviously relate to the box position. So that's box 1, box 2, etc. All right. I'm just going to put them in actually in this order. So we'll put that in box 1. That's loading. Box 2, loading. 3 and 4. Okay, so that's those done. Now we used to be able to just go to a page, and to see these new images, click the refresh button here at the top. However, for some unknown reason, the browsers now have changed so that very often to load new pictures and new style sheets, which are files that are used to determine the layout, you have to do a forced refresh. I have absolutely no idea why they thought that was a good idea. It's a pain in the backside, but it's it's what you have to do. So to do that, what you can do is hold down the Shift button. If you're not sure what that is, it is the button with the big arrow on it on the left hand side of your keyboard on the same line as the ZXC. All right. So you hold that down and click the refresh button here. Now sometimes, as in this case, you might actually need to do it twice. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's the point? I don't get why they've done that. However, there we are. So you'll see that that's now refreshed, and you've got those images in there. And I think that looks actually pretty good. So we scroll down to the bottom, whoops, and you'll see, and there we are. There's the images in the boxes there as well. So that's all looking nice and creepy. So now we'll just go to the Get in Touch page. You see we've got the image here. But in this page in the panel, if you go down to the bottom section, you've then got some contact buttons. Images. Do exactly the same again. I'm going to use this one here. So click on the set contact. That loads in. Refresh the page a couple of times. And there we are. Okay. So that's how you change those background images in your site. So I hope that's of use. What I'll now show you is just one more thing on the that affects the desktop. And sorry, I don't know. No, I didn't mention. This is only something you can do on version 5 sites on the desktop. Okay, so sorry about that, but only version 5 sites have this feature. The header image at the top there is also not featured in some layouts because it just doesn't look right. So there, you can still do it. It just won't have any effect on the site. Okay. So what I'm going to show you now is if we go to editing and page effects. Okay. This used to be called Snowfall because that's all we had, but we've actually got a couple of different ones now. I will take that off. It shouldn't really be Snowfall, but anyway, it gives you an idea of what it's going to do. If we click on here, go to Halloween, and then activate. Now, a couple of times I've seen you've actually had to do that twice, so I'm just going to do that just in case for the sake of the demo. But if it doesn't work first time, just click it again. It should. If we go back to the site and click on there, and you'll start seeing these little drop down, these fun little kind of pumpkins and devils and ghosts and whatnot. All right, so it's just it's just a bit of fun. Okay, don't have to have it, entirely down to you. All right. So now what I'm going to show you is the mobile layout. So here's John's mobile here, and if we go to the mobile and what am I looking for? Oh yes, color scheme. There we are. Even I get lost occasionally. So in here, you'll see that he's set on a red on black at the moment. And what I'm going to do is change that then to the new Halloween. Now, some of you who are more familiar with the panel will notice that there's no longer a live demo over here on the right. The reason for that, it's a security setting, unfortunately, and there's not a lot I can do about that. Because this is on a secure server, we've had an upgrade done on here. It can't access files, etc. So it can't run scripts, it can't load pictures, and it certainly can't show the whole site, which is basically what it did before, unless that that other site is also on a secure server. So that just doesn't work. I will be looking at ways I can at least kind of demonstrate or give an idea of what these different schemes look like. But for the time being, just know that all you need to do is come down here, click on the one you want, and save changes. Okay, that will go off there, do its thing. When you come back, that's now highlighted in red to show that that's the one that you've got in place. Okay, so if we go over now to the demo here. Oh, there we go. That will teach me for taking too long to do things. So on here, what I'll do is I'll do a refresh. Now, again, they have decided that just doing the refresh at the top here would be far too simple. So what you have to do to make sure that you're seeing the live stuff, you don't need to do this all the time. It's just if there's changes in place, it's easier. If you open up your site in private mode, so on an iPhone, I'll show you here, you see you've got this private there. All right. So if you go into that mode, that then means that it won't cache the files, it won't cache the images, etc. So it will reload them each time. So if I now go and click the button at the top here, which I'll do on the mobile itself, and there we are. And that's now the Halloween theme all set out. All right, so if we go onto the buttons, you'll see how those are laid out there. It just, it's a bit of fun at the end of the day. What you're doing is making it a bit interesting. You're setting yourself apart from, all the other sites out there. At the moment, there is only the one mobile theme for Halloween because it is such a short, a short thing. So there will be more added, perhaps for next year. But I'm going to be doing hopefully a couple more for Christmas ones. There are already a couple, but I'll try and do a couple more. Okay. So there we are. That's how you apply your backgrounds onto your desktop and how you set the mobile theme on on your mobile, obviously. All right. I hope that's been of help. If you've got any questions or indeed any other ideas for how we can kind of help improve on this, then obviously please just let me know. Okay. Hope that's been useful.